Nobody stole your time, they stole your attention. And when they got your attention, the time followed automatically. Because time without attention is not really living, it is just the clock moving while you are somewhere else. Somewhere between the thing you were supposed to be doing and the 17 other things that pulled you away from it before it had a chance to become anything real. And the strange and painful part is that you felt busy the whole time. That is what makes this particular kind of loss so hard to recognize. It does not feel like losing. It feels like trying, like being engaged and productive and on top of things, until the end of the day arrives, and you sit there trying to figure out where the hours went. And the honest answer is, you are not entirely sure. You were there for all of it. You were physically present for every single minute. But something else, something that matters far more than physical presence, was scattered across so many different things simultaneously that it was never fully anywhere. That something is your attention. And without it, the hours are just hours. Full of motion but empty of real progress. Full of effort but short on result. Full of the feeling of working without the deep satisfaction of having actually done something that mattered. And the worst part is that feeling does not go away when the day ends. It follows you into the evening, into the moments when you should be resting, but instead you are running through everything you did not finish, everything you meant to do, everything that is waiting for tomorrow. That feeling is exhausting, and it is not a character flaw. It is not a sign that you are lazy or undisciplined or less capable than the people around you who seem to have it together. It is what happens to every human mind that has been pulled in too many directions for too long without ever being given permission to land somewhere and stay. And it has a fix, not a complicated one, not a system that requires weeks of preparation before it starts working. 7 things, 35 minutes, and a focused mind that finally belongs to you again. Before we begin, type this in the comments and mean every word of it. My attention belongs to me. 1. Stop blaming yourself. Your focus was taken from you, not lost by you. The story most people tell themselves about their focus problem starts in the wrong place. It starts with blame, self-blame, the internal voice that says you should be able to sit down and work without getting distracted every 5 minutes, that other people manage just fine, that there is something wrong with your discipline or your character or the fundamental way your brain is put together, that if you just tried harder or wanted it more or had more willpower, this would not be a problem. That voice is wrong, and listening to it is making everything worse, because when you believe the problem is you respond by forcing yourself harder, more guilt, more self-pressure, more of the grinding internal battle between what you are doing and what you think you should be doing. And force does not fix a trained pattern, it just exhausts the person trying to apply it. Here is the truth about what actually happened to your focus. It was not lost. It was taken, not all at once, gradually, through thousands of small daily interactions with systems that were specifically and deliberately designed to capture your attention and keep it for as long as possible. Every social media platform, every notification, every autoplay video that starts before the last one has finished, every infinite scroll that has no bottom, every algorithm built by some of the most intelligent and highly paid people on the planet, whose entire job is to make sure your attention never fully settles anywhere long enough to do something real. These systems did not happen by accident. They were engineered with extraordinary precision to trigger exactly the neurological response that makes switching feel better than staying. That makes checking feel more urgent than working. That makes the quick hit of something new feel more rewarding than the slow burn of something deep. You were not weak enough to resist this. Nobody is. These systems were not designed to be resisted by ordinary human willpower. They were designed by people who study the science of human attention and human habit and human psychology professionally, and they are extraordinarily good at what they do. The great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind, and for years the things you have been thinking about have been heavily shaped by systems that profit from your distraction, systems that get paid for every minute of your attention they capture. Systems that have absolutely no interest in your productivity or your well-being or the quality of the work you are trying to do. Understanding this does not remove your responsibility for changing it. But it does change where you start. You start from clarity instead of shame. You start from the honest understanding that your attention was trained away from depth toward distraction through years of repetition in an environment built specifically to do that. And you can retrain it through a different set of daily choices, through the consistent and deliberate practice of choosing to stay when everything around you is inviting you to switch. Starting right now. Starting with the decision to stop blaming yourself and start understanding what actually happened, because you cannot fix a problem you have misdiagnosed. And the diagnosis is not that you are broken. The diagnosis is that something valuable was taken from you and it is time to take it back. 2. Before you try to focus, fix what your eyes can see. Your environment is running your brain. Most people try to focus in an environment that makes focus almost impossible, and then they blame themselves when it does not work. They sit down at a desk surrounded by unfinished things. They open a laptop with 17 tabs already loaded from yesterday. They put their phone within arm's reach face up. They have notifications pinging in the background. They have 3 different half-finished tasks visible from where they are sitting, and then they try to will themselves into deep concentration through sheer mental force. And it does not work. Not because they are not trying hard enough, because the environment is actively working against them. Here is something most people never stop to consider. Your brain reads everything in your environment constantly, not just what you are directly looking at, everything in your peripheral vision, everything you can hear, everything you can reach without getting up. Your brain processes all of it and responds to all of it, whether you are consciously aware of that processing or not. And every single unfinished thing in your environment sends your brain a quiet but persistent signal. The unread message on your phone is saying something is waiting for you here. The open tab from yesterday is saying this was not finished. The paper on the edge of your desk is saying this needs your attention at some point. The notification light blinking across the room is saying something happened and you do not know what it is yet. None of these signals shout. They whisper, but your brain hears every whisper, and every whisper costs a small piece of the mental energy that your actual work needs. Small individually. Together they create a mental noise that makes genuine focus feel like trying to have a quiet conversation in a room full of people all talking at the same time. You can technically do it, but it takes so much more effort than it would if the room were quiet. The ancient philosopher Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. Decide what you are trying to accomplish. Then arrange everything around that decision, not after you start. Before. The arrangement comes first. Before you begin any work that requires your genuine attention, spend 5 minutes making the environment match the intention. Close every tab that is not directly related to the one thing you're about to work on. Not some of the tabs, all of them except the one you need. Put your phone in a different room, not on silent, not face down. A different room, because the phone on the desk, even silent, even face down, is still sending a signal to your brain. The signal is this might buzz at any moment, so stay alert. And a brain on alert for a buzz is not a brain that is fully present in the work. Clear the physical space in front of you. If there are papers or objects that belong to a different task, move them where you cannot see them. You are not throwing them away. You are removing their signal from your environment while you do this one thing. Close the door if there is one. If there are sounds you cannot control, put on headphones, even without music. Because headphones send their own signal. The signal is something specific is happening here, and I am not available for anything else right now. Your brain responds to that signal. It begins to settle. It begins to understand that this space right now has one purpose, and that single purpose focus from the environment gives the brain permission to do the same. The environment is the first thing you fix, not because it is the whole problem, but because trying to build focus in a cluttered and distraction-filled environment is like trying to hear a whisper in a thunderstorm. Technically possible, practically exhausting. Remove the storm first. Then focus becomes something your brain can actually build rather than something it has to constantly fight for. 3. Multitasking is destroying your output, and you do not even know it. Let us be honest about something that most people are not honest about. You have been telling yourself that you are good at multitasking, that you can handle several things at once, that your ability to keep multiple plates spinning simultaneously is a skill rather than a problem. It is not a skill, it is a habit, and it is costing you more than you realize every single day. Here is what is actually happening when you multitask. Your brain is not doing two things at the same time. It is switching between them, rapidly, back and forth. Task A to task B, and back to task A, and then over to task B, and then a quick check of something else, and back to task A. And every single switch has a cost attached to it. Not a dramatic cost, a small one. A fraction of a second of mental reorientation. A small expenditure of energy to re-establish where you were and what you were doing before you left. A tiny reset of the working memory that was holding the thread of the original task. These costs feel invisible in the moment, but they accumulate. Researchers who study human attention have found that after an interruption, even a brief one, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully return to the original task. 23 minutes. And most people are interrupting themselves not once, but dozens of times per hour. Which means most people are never actually fully present in any single task for most of their working day. They are constantly in the process of returning from the last interruption to the task they were trying to do, never quite arriving, never quite getting into the depth of thinking that the task actually required. The philosopher Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere. To be everywhere is to be nowhere." That is not just poetic. That is a precise description of what switching costs you. When your attention is distributed across multiple tasks, it is not fully present in any of them. And a task that only gets part of your attention only gets part of your capability, part of your thinking, part of your problem-solving ability, part of your creativity and your judgment and your capacity to do the work at the level it actually deserves. And you end up producing work that reflects that partiality, work that got done but not work that is your best, work that passed but not work that represented what you are actually capable of when you give something everything. The fix is not complicated. One thing at a time, one thing open on your screen, one task receiving your full attention, everything else closed, put away, not visible, not audible, not able to send signals to the part of your brain that is supposed to be fully here. This feels uncomfortable at first. It feels slow. It feels like you are falling behind on everything else while you focus on this one thing. But here is what actually happens when you work this way. The one thing gets done faster because your full attention is on it. It gets done better because your full capability is applied to it. And it gets done with a quality that shows, that other people notice, that you notice, the quiet satisfaction of work that has the full you in it, rather than the partial you that was also doing 5 other things at the same time. That satisfaction is available to you, starting with the next thing you work on. One thing, all of you, right now. 4. You have a peak window every day. Most people waste it on email. Here is one of the most painful truths about how most people spend their time. Every single human being has a window of peak mental performance each day, a period usually somewhere between 2 and 4 hours, when the brain is at its sharpest, when thinking is clearest, when focus comes more naturally, when hard problems feel more solvable and creative work flows more freely, and the things that feel impossible in the afternoon feel merely difficult in the morning. This window is real. It is biological. It is not a myth or a productivity concept. It is the natural rhythm of the human brain, moving through its daily cycle of high capacity and lower capacity. And most people spend this window on their lowest value work, email, admin tasks. The quick wins that feel productive because they can be completed and checked off fast. The organizational tasks that make the desk feel tidier without moving anything that actually matters forward. And then they sit down to do their most important work in the afternoon, when the window has closed, when the mental reserves that the important work needed have already been spent on things that did not deserve them. And they wonder why the important work feels so hard, why the words will not come, why the problem that seemed almost clear yesterday will not yield today. The work did not get harder, the brain got less available. And working against your brain's natural rhythm instead of with it is one of the most consistently costly mistakes people make without ever realizing they are making it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Concentrate every minute on doing what is in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness." Precise and genuine seriousness requires genuine capacity. And genuine capacity is not available equally at all hours of the day. It peaks, it valleys, it has a shape that is yours specifically and that will not be exactly the same as anyone else's, but it has a shape, and working with that shape instead of against it changes everything. The way to find your window is simple. Think about when in the day you have felt most clear-headed and focused in the past, when your best thinking seems to happen naturally, when you get into the work easily rather than having to fight to get there. For most people, this is the morning. For some people, it is later. But you probably already know roughly when your window is. You have felt it. Now the question is whether you are using it. Take that window and protect it like it is the most valuable thing you own, because in terms of what it can produce, it is. During that window, no email, no social media, no administrative tasks, no quick wins. Just the one most important thing that your best thinking is needed for. And watch what happens to the quality of what you produce when your best work gets your best hours instead of your leftover ones. If you are ready to protect your best hours for your best work, drop this below. I protect my best hours. 5. Your focus is a muscle. And right now it has not been to the gym in a long time. When you try to focus right now and find that you cannot sustain it for more than a few minutes before something pulls you away, that experience has a very specific meaning. It does not mean you are broken. It does not mean your brain is somehow different from other people's in a way that makes focus permanently out of reach for you. It means the muscle is weak, and weak muscles become strong through one thing only: training. Gradual, consistent, progressive training that builds capacity incrementally until what was impossible becomes difficult, and what was difficult becomes manageable, and what was manageable eventually becomes natural. Focus works exactly this way. The capacity for sustained attention is built through the repeated practice of sustaining attention, not through thinking about focusing more, not through wanting to be better at it, through actually doing it for short periods, consistently, and building from there one session at a time. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. What you repeatedly do shapes what you become capable of. If you have been repeatedly switching has become your default. Your brain reaches for the switch automatically now before you have even consciously decided to switch. It happens faster than your awareness of it. That is what a trained default looks like. And a trained default can be retrained through a different set of repetitions, through the consistent practice of choosing to stay when the pull to switch arrives. The training starts smaller than you think it needs to. 5 minutes, genuinely 5 minutes, not an hour, not a productivity session, not a heroic block of deep work. 5 minutes of complete, undivided, single-task focus with everything else closed, and your phone gone, and your environment quiet, and your full attention on one specific thing. Set a timer. Commit to the 5 minutes completely. And when your mind wanders, which it will, especially at the beginning when the muscle is weakest, you simply notice that it wandered and bring it back. Not with frustration, not with self-criticism, not with the internal lecture about how you should be better at this by now. Just notice, return, notice, return. That noticing and returning is not a sign that you are failing at focusing. It is the exercise itself. It is the repetition that builds the muscle. Every single time you notice that your attention drifted and you choose to bring it back to the task rather than following the drift, you have completed one repetition of the most important focus exercise that exists. You have practiced the fundamental act of choosing the task over the distraction, of staying when the automatic pull to switch arrived. And that practice changes your brain over time. Week 1, you might manage 5 minutes before the pull becomes too strong. Week 2, you might find 10 minutes feels possible. Week 3, 20 minutes might start to feel like something you can sustain. The building happens faster than most people expect once they start doing it consistently, because the brain responds quickly to new patterns when those patterns are practiced with genuine intention. Start with 5 minutes today, tomorrow 6, next week 10. Build the muscle the way any muscle is built, gradually, consistently, without skipping the early stages because they feel too simple to be worthwhile. The early stages are where the foundation is laid, and everything built later depends on that foundation being real. 6. Stop making decisions during the work. Your brain has a budget, and you are spending it wrong. There is a kind of tiredness that arrives before you have done any real work. You know exactly what this feels like. You sit down to begin the day, and before you have done anything that matters, you are already somehow tired. Not physically tired, mentally tired. Already slightly depleted. Already a little less sharp than you were 20 minutes ago. And you have not even started yet. What drained you was not the work. It was the deciding. The what should I work on first? The which of these 7 things is actually the most urgent? The should I respond to this before I start, or will it distract me? The is this the right time for this task, or would I produce better work on it later? These feel like small questions. They are not small. Every decision your brain makes costs mental energy. Not a lot per decision, but the costs add up. And most people make dozens of small decisions before they ever sit down to do the work that actually matters, arriving at the work already partially depleted, not from effort, from choosing, from the accumulated cost of all the small pre-work decisions that burned through the mental fuel the real work was going to need. This is called decision fatigue. And it is one of the most underestimated reasons why people find it so hard to do deep focused work after a certain point in the day. It is not that the work got harder, it is that the brain has spent too much of its available resource on decisions that were not worth what they cost. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." A mind that has been everywhere making small decisions before the real work begins is a mind that arrives at the real work without the full capacity it needed. The solution is simple, and it makes an immediate difference. Make your decisions the night before, or early in the morning before the real work begins. Not a long, complicated planning session. One question answered in advance. What is the one thing that if I do it well today will have been worth something? Answer that question. Write it down. Be specific about it. Not work on the project. Write the first section of the proposal. Not exercise. Run for 30 minutes starting at 7. Specific. Decided. Already settled before you sit down to work. so that when you sit down, there is no deciding to be done. There is only doing. Following the instruction you left for yourself at a time when you had the clarity and the energy to make the decision well. Following an instruction costs almost nothing. Making a decision in the moment costs significantly. Make the decisions earlier. Follow the instructions later and arrive at the work each day with more of yourself available for the work than you have had in a long time. If you are ready to decide before you begin, claim this below. I decide before I begin. 7. Rest is not the enemy of focus. It is the thing that makes focus possible. This is the step that most driven people resist the most, because most driven people have a complicated relationship with rest. They feel guilty when they stop. They feel like stopping means falling behind, like every break is costing them something they will have to make up for later. Like the most productive version of themselves is the version that pushes through without pausing. That relationship with rest is not a virtue. It is a misunderstanding, and it is producing exactly the opposite of what the person holding it wants. Because rest is not the enemy of focus. Rest is the source of it, and treating rest as laziness or weakness or something to be minimized is not making you more productive. It is quietly and consistently destroying the capacity for the focus you are trying to build. Here is what is actually happening in your brain when you rest. Your brain during periods of genuine rest is not idle. It is doing some of its most important work. It is consolidating the thinking you did during the focused session, making the connections between ideas that did not quite come together while you were actively working on them, processing the problems you were wrestling with at a level below conscious awareness, restoring the mental resources that the focused work consumed so they are available again for the next session. This process is not optional, it is biological. And when you skip it, when you push through the rest periods and keep working past the point where genuine focus is available, you do not get more done, you get more time at the desk. But the work produced in a depleted state is not the same quality as the work produced in a restored state. It is slower, it is shallower, it requires more correction, it reflects a brain that is going through the motions rather than genuinely engaged. Aristotle said, "The whole is more than the sum of its parts." Your focused hours and your recovery hours together produce more than either one could produce alone. They are not competing, they are cooperating, and the quality of the focused hours is directly determined by the quality of the recovery hours. Real rest means the brain is genuinely disengaging from the demands of the work. Not scrolling. Scrolling is not rest. Scrolling is switching with lower stakes. It keeps the brain in the same reactive, input processing, constantly stimulated mode that it needs to step out of in order to genuinely restore. Real rest looks like a walk outside without your phone, sitting somewhere quiet without an agenda, something physical that takes you out of your head and into your body, a conversation about something entirely unrelated to work. Anything that lets the brain stop processing demands and start doing the background work that only happens when the foreground is quiet. The practical application of this is simple. Work in focused blocks. For most people, somewhere between 45 minutes and 90 minutes is the natural length of a genuine focused session before the quality of attention begins to drop. Then take a real break. 10 to 20 minutes of genuine disengagement. Away from the screen, away from the task, away from anything that keeps the brain in work mode. Then come back, restored, clearer, more capable of the next session than you would have been if you had pushed through. This cycle, honored consistently over a full working day, produces more genuine output than pushing through without breaks ever does. Not because you are doing less, because what you are doing is being done by a brain that is actually capable of doing it well. Here is the simple truth that everything in this conversation has been building toward. Your focus was not lost. It was taken by systems designed to take it. by habits formed around those systems, by years of an environment that made switching easy and rewarding and staying difficult and uncomfortable, and something that was taken can be reclaimed. Not all at once. Not without practice, not without the consistent daily choice to do things differently than they have been done, but reclaimed, fully and genuinely reclaimed. Let us bring it all together simply. Your focus problem is not personal. It was trained into you by an environment built to train it. Stop blaming yourself and start understanding what actually happened. That understanding is where the fixing begins. Your environment is not neutral. It is either helping your brain focus or pulling it away from focus constantly. Fix the space before you try to fix the mind. Make the environment quiet, and the brain will follow. Multitasking was never real. You were switching, and switching costs 23 minutes of full attention per interruption. One thing at a time. Full attention on that one thing until it is done. Your brain has a peak window every day. Find it, protect it, put your most important work inside it. Stop spending your best hours on your easiest tasks. Your attention is a muscle. It is undertrained right now, but it responds quickly to consistent practice. Start with 5 minutes of genuine single-task focus today and build from there. Small decisions drain the same mental energy that your best work needs. Decide before you begin. Follow the instructions you left for yourself. Arrive at the work with more of yourself available for it. And rest is not the break from focus. It is the source of it. Real recovery between focused sessions produces more total output than pushing through ever does. Honor the rhythm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Power over your mind, not over every distraction that exists in the world, not over every system that was built to pull your attention away. Over your mind, over what you choose to direct it toward, over whether you give your attention to what was designed to capture it or to what you actually decided matters to you. That choice is available right now. It was always available. The distractions just got very good at making it feel like it was not. 35 minutes, 7 things. A focused mind that belongs to you again. Not someday when conditions are better. Not when you feel more ready. Now. Starting with the next thing you open and the decision to give it all of yourself instead of the scattered partial version that has been showing up for longer than you want to admit. The full version of you on one task is more powerful than the partial version of you on 10. Give yourself the chance to find that out.